We are live. Okay, that is live. Hi, everybody, and welcome to AI Coffee with Kyle and Cien. We are here, as we are every single morning, in order to talk about the latest AI news of the day. Basically, it's a coffee chat with your AI friends. We're going to talk about AI, especially how it is relevant to business, but also the world in general. And Cien has a big story that we're going to be talking about today. I'm going to be deferring to Cien on this one because it's a big, complex topic that I don't know nearly enough about. So you're going to be driving this, and I'm going to be hopefully asking intelligent questions. If I'm not, if I ask dumb things, that's also fine, I guess. But you tell me if it's a stupid question. Anyway, do you want to introduce today's topic?
Yeah, I don't know much. I mean, I'm not an expert of
I set you up there,
policy.
sorry.
Yeah. But it does interest me, So Elon Musk raised $6 billion a couple of days ago, and there are a few articles written about it saying that it's going to be invested in NVIDIA chips. There were reports. I think yesterday I saw it on a video that what was the chip called? The recent NVIDIA chips they're overheating, so they're not very good. And then also with the recent changes in politics in America, Trump is saying that he's going to impose tariffs on goods that are going to be imported from specifically from China, for example, and other countries. So as we know, some of these manufactured, parts of a product or the entire product itself are manufactured elsewhere. So what does that mean from an AI perspective with this AI race from different countries with if tariffs are going to be imposed, meaning that the iPhones are going to be more expensive potentially, or again, NVIDIA chips are going to be more expensive. Would that impact the AI race between countries, and who's going to win if they were going to actually, make this tariff change happen? I'm not a political advisor. I'm not an expert. I'm not a financial advisor either. So I'm not going to be talking about what to invest in or do you stop investing in. And NVIDIA's earning reports are going to be released this afternoon as well. So that's going to be interesting.
I should probably say, for full transparency, I do own stock in NVIDIA as well, and you probably do as well. So yes, we're not doing this for financial advice. We're not telling people to go and buy NVIDIA, but I'm sure a lot of people are watching the earnings report. I think there's a lot here. There's tariffs. There's the political ramifications. There's I think it was the Blackwell chip. Was it Blackwell? Blackwell chip,
Yeah.
which recently overheated in servers, suggesting potential manufacturing issues as well. I think it's useful to step back just one step and talk about why NVIDIA is suddenly one of the most valuable companies on earth. Because most people will know NVIDIA as the people who make graphics cards so you can play video games. Why all of a sudden are they, the hottest company on earth?
Yeah, I know that is a really good point. So NVIDIA has existed for a while. Jensen Huang has been in the market for, I think, over a decade. But only recently have they now surpassed the likes of Apple. Like, they are the hottest company in the world, I would say, in my opinion. And a lot of people would probably agree. But they're making the new generation of AI possible. They're able to process all that computational power, or that, like, the let's say, power that is needed to be able to run these the technology for these companies, these hyperscale companies that are producing AI powered technology.
So at base level, we're using something called a GPU, a graphic processing unit, which is literally I say it's a card, but it's like a mini computer that you slot into a server, like a graphics card if you ever used to build PCs. These GPUs are being used to do the processing required for AI models. So suddenly these are a hot commodity because people are trying to train and build AI models. And NVIDIA are the company who make the best processors, the best graphic processors in the market. So suddenly there's a huge, absolutely massive demand for these GPUs and not enough supply, because there's very few companies on earth that are able to build at this scale.
Yeah, you've got AMD, Intel, but yeah, Nvidia is
That's
winning.
about it. There's a handful, maybe 5 companies, very few, and Nvidia are just absolutely dominating. And so if you've owned any stock in the last year, just checked it, in the last year, their stock has gone up by 191%. In the last 5 years by 2,689%. So basically, if you made any investments in Nvidia a couple of years ago, knowing that it's going to be useful in AI, you would have made a lot of money. And what actually happened at Nvidia, which I saw was fascinating, is a lot of the employees had stock options, and suddenly Nvidia went to the absolute moon, and these employees were suddenly multi-millionaires, and they're like, okay, bye, and they just left. So they lost a lot of their talent because their talent did so well from being part of Nvidia that they just left the company. They're like, okay, I don't need to work anymore.
That's probably why their product's overheating.
Yeah. So as you say, I think it was 3 days ago, apparently, Nvidia's new Blackwell AI chips, which have faced delays, have encountered problems which accompanying servers that overheat. So yeah, there's problems implementing them. So if you're building a data server to train an AI or to build an AI, you'd potentially need hundreds or thousands of these GPUs, and you need to deploy them in a warehouse that you own. You need to keep them cool. You need to get everything up and running, get them all connected. It takes time. And there are some of these GPUs that are overheating, which in computing terms is a nightmare. That means you lose the power and potentially, burst into flames. This is a big problem. I don't think they had many quality issues before this. So the fact that it's happened 3 days before their earnings call, which is today, is, well, I'm sure Jensen Huang is losing some sleep about this right now.
Absolutely. Well, people are predicting, from what I've been reading. Again, this isn't financial advice. This isn't, I'm not an expert, but people are saying that they will be losing in this earnings report. But from a long-term perspective, people are confident. The experts are confident that it's going to win long-term. I heard someone say maybe up till the end of 2026, perhaps. But because of the overheating, the manufacturing issue, then it might be down today. But yeah, I don't know. But it's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting, result for NVIDIA. They are an American company. I think that has to be noted as well. They are an American company. And so, like, what does that mean as well for these hyperscale companies that are based in America?
They are an American company who has a lot of their operations in Taiwan. So there are additional layers of complexity here, I would say, because this brings us to the first point that you made. We're not going to get political. We're mainly talking about AI, but there are talks of tariffs being placed on goods coming into America, which potentially could include these GPUs, because despite NVIDIA being an American company, components are manufactured outside of America, and they could potentially be put onto tariff. And the tariff will basically mean the cost of importing them into America will be increased, so that American manufacturers have a better chance of selling their product within America. That's basically what tariff is, without going into too much detail. But this is up in the air, because we've just had the election. We will also have the confounding factor of Musk has just raised 6 billion. People are thinking that that 6 billion is going towards NVIDIA chips, but obviously Musk has close ties with the incoming president, so it's messy. I think that's fair for us to say without getting political or without taking any sides. It's a messy situation right now.
Yeah, it is. What the impact is for AI in America and the rest of the world is yet to be determined, whether or not they actually the tariff change actually happens, and for which specific regions of the world. So they're saying that I think I read somewhere that the proposal was 60% specifically from China and then 10% for the rest. So, like, what are the implications of that? Like let's take Apple, for example. The world knows that, if you buy a box, a new phone, it will say, what was it? Made in
Made in
California.
California. Made in California. Yeah. Very
But
cheeky.
they have like in small print, manufactured in, I think, did you say Shenzhen or something? Was it you? Was that
Well,
Shenzhen or somewhere in China?
famously it was Foxconn.
Yeah,
Foxconn created a lot of the components.
exactly. So if the tariff changes happen, iPhones are going to be more expensive. So what would happen to an American company called Apple? And like people, with probably less people will buy the mobile phone. So yeah, similarly with kind of like the impact of AI. So imagine companies like Tesla, or like companies like any company that would be using these chips, these let's say these NVIDIA chips, for example. There might be an impact of either hyperscaling these technology that are being grown from America because
Mm.
of the increase of the cost of building such systems.
So right now we don't know what's going to happen. There are so many different factors here.
Yeah.
There's a new president. There's the fact that the president is connected to Musk. There's the fact that Musk is trying to buy NVIDIA chips. There's the fact that NVIDIA is headquartered and it's an American company, but has large operations in Taiwan, which is not China. It is, well, that's again another can of worms. There are so many different layers here. Are there any situations you can see that this will be good for AI, or do you think it's just how bad will it be?
Can you repeat that? So how bad will it be if?
So I guess my question is, there's a lot of complexity here. Are there any potential situations where all of this could be good for AI and the development of AI, or do we think that this is going to be a net negative, and whatever happens, there's going to be an impact on the development of AI?
I think right now, top of my head, it's going to be a demand supply issues, and this is an issue that is kind of like the issue right now. So um, I don't know how possible it is. Maybe this is a stupid statement. I don't know how possible it is for like the competition to be able to uh, fill that demand supply issue.
Mm.
But I think regardless of like someone made this point, hyperscale companies wouldn't be price sensitive, but I'm still thinking consumers will have a problem. So if consumers will have a problem of being able to purchase these, like for example, a Tesla car or an iPhone, or even like a simple like chip that they can use to build their own home, their set up at home. If there's going to be a price increase, there's going to be a result of consumers not being able to buy as much, then there's going to be some sort of economic impact overall of like us being able to consume these sophisticated technology, and at the same time, then as an impact, these companies wouldn't be able to compete. I think that is, again, I'm not an expert, but that is what I'm thinking. There's going to be kind of like an impact about one. Um, Again, yeah, I'm thinking about from a consumer perspective. We won't be able to afford an iPhone, for example, as a like the simple base. We might not be able to do that if, yeah, the tariffs happen, things get more expensive.
I mean, a lot of people can't afford iPhones already. They are madly expensive. Very quickly, apparently people can hear me echoing, so I think you have a speaker on somewhere. So can you make sure you're muted? Oh, no, you have paused your live.
Oh no,
That's okay.
then I won't be able to hear you.
So you just
Straight.
need my audio coming from StreamYard through your ear, and that's all you need. And then mute either the phone or the computer. Now you're muted. Sorry, guys.
Okay, what about now?
I can't tell, but I'm sure they'll tell us in a moment.
Yeah. Looking
So I
sharp,
think,
Kyle.
thank you. Oh, it's
Still
from
echo.
so I think the other thing here is the fact that Musk is spending or potentially spending $6 billion on GPUs, obviously for the Grok model. I let you.
I'm configuring.
You're configuring.
Yeah. What about? Oh well. What about
Well,
now?
now I can hear myself, so no, absolutely not.
Oh, this is awful. I don't know how I can fix it. Maybe what for
You
tomorrow?
just put in one headphone from one of the sources and then mute the other source.
Ah.
We do this every morning. What were you doing last night?
I don't know.
So sorry, my question here is have you used much Grok, the XAI's AI, and what do you think of it? Because it is obviously that's what Elon Musk is investing in and building up XAI's capacities. Or I say obviously, maybe those GPUs are going towards some other project, but I assume it's going towards XAI. I have not personally been particularly impressed with the model, but I wanted to know what you thought as somebody who integrates more.
Yeah, I haven't been using it much. I have access to X Premium. I have, we actually have access in Launch Lemonade. It's still in beta. I mean, in dev, we haven't released it to our users yet, and I don't think we will. Not impressed as well. Although the image generation from the date was really, when it was released, it was really good, and that's because they're using Flux model, right?
I
It
was
was
about to say
always,
that's because they didn't build it. That's
yeah.
Flux. It's Flux 3, I think.
It's
Yeah,
always been better than DALI, for example. So I've always been impressed with the image generation on that platform before we got Flux for Launch Lemonade. So I did generate some images from there. What I do with Grok when I am in the platform, I ask it for suggestions on what to tweet or like to act like you could you could experiment with that. But to be honest, it's just I don't think it's that good or good at all.
that's basically been my impression too. Is that it's a fun toy, and because it's integrated into the X platforms or the Twitter platform, it's fun to play around with and be able to ask questions about other users or to ask about your own account and what kind of thing you should post. So the fact that it's been trained on social media data is quite interesting. But from a practical use point of view, I've found very few reasons to use it when I could just use ChatGPT or Claude. As long
Yeah.
as there is a better model out there, I find this with a lot of models, like playing around with Mistral or even Llama. I'll play around with them, and then I will revert back to ChatGPT or Claude because they are just, for the most part, objectively better.
Yeah, but it's very cheap. So like if you want access to Grok, for example, from X.com, the platform, I think it's you get the premium package for like I forgot, maybe $200 a year, I think, which is different from, let's say, your ChatGPT subscription of 20 a month. I can't do
True,
maths right
but
now, but
you can't do microphones, you can't do headphones. Maths is hard. So, oh, you mean the X Premium? So if you
yeah.
sign up, yeah, that's true. What's it like on the API? Is it cost effective? I don't know anything about the API
It's
cost of
cost
it.
effective. Yeah.
Okay.
Like they're all in, like if you, for example, want access to Hugging Face language models, there are routers that allow you to
Hmm.
kind of take or use different language models one go, including the major ones as well. They are there. So you could easily integrate them on platforms.
Okay, so it might have great uses outside of just playing around with it on Twitter,
Yeah.
which I
Yeah.
think is
Yeah.
what people are using it for now, and for access to Flux, which is a third-party image generation model, which is very good, better than DALL-E, as you say.
Yeah, definitely. Probably the best from what I've seen. Or like maybe on par. I mean, I use it over Midjourney, so so I'm biased.
I think a lot of people do now. Midjourney seems to have kind of dropped out. I'm not really in the AI art space, but Flux seems to, from the people I've talked to, it seems to have taken over from Midjourney, and DALL-E is just not. I mean, DALL-E's not a competitor. I keep seeing posts on LinkedIn, LinkedIn in particular, where people are dumping on AI and saying, "Hi, it can't even do these images," and it will have a DALL-E image. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
well, yeah, DALL-E's terrible. If you go through Flux and then you put it through like Magnifique, like Upscaler and stuff like that, you can make really high quality images. So using DALL-E just seems kind of, well, I guess it seems disingenuous, but it's also the most widely available because everyone has ChatGPT already. But
Yeah.
DALL-E, did you remember early days of, well, I'd say early days of AI? This was about a year and a half ago. Do you remember Weird DALL-E? It was a subreddit where people would generate things on DALL-E 2. And for anyone who didn't use DALL-E 2, it was absolutely horrifying. It created these absolute nightmare generations. It was still impressive because it could create images from scratch, but it's worth looking it up. It's called Weird DALL-E. And it's just these absolutely horrific images because things would happen like the faces wouldn't be right and teeth would be showing and like eyes on the back of the head and stuff like that. Like it was a lot more fun.
The six fingers or something like that was the biggest.
That used to be the giveaway, is look at the hands, because AI couldn't do hands. I mean, it still struggles to a certain extent, but that used to be immediately you could know it was. But DALL-E was even worse than that though, because people's heads would be on their shoulders and like arms sticking out of their, stomachs and
Yeah.
stuff like that. It was terrible. It was
Yeah.
funny
It,
though.
and it, with DALL-E, I think you have to know how to prompt it really well to have some decent results.
Hmm.
With models like Flux, it's been trained to more kind of like using natural language, or not, I mean, like kind of like less heavy prompting. So it's easier to generate some images that you would like appreciate. So like it's replaced stock imagery for sure for a lot of marketeers. You just generate your own image.
Absolutely. So Grok, one thing that I very briefly mentioned was the fact that it's trained on social media data. That makes it kind of useful for certain types of tasks. We were talking about this previously. You were saying it's similar case for Llama, because Llama is based on Meta, so Instagram and Facebook's data. So is Llama also good for social media posts? And if we were using an AI to help us with social media, would you recommend something like Llama? The reason I ask is right now I'm building an automation. It's very boring, or maybe it's not. For the right kind of people, it would be very interesting. But using Apify to collect up information about popular posts, feeding them into an Airtable, which is it's like an advanced spreadsheet / database, and then feeding from Airtable out to an AI model in order to rewrite scripts or to prepare scripts for me to then shoot videos about them. I was just going to use Claude because I love Claude, as you know, and I use Claude for everything. But is this something that I might want to look at using Llama for, or maybe even Grok?
Yeah, for sure. So my advice is always find your match. I have some creators on the platform who loves this model, fine-tuned llama model called Mythomax. And Mythomax is being positioned as really good at imitating a character, or like an impression. And he loves it. Like he's like, Mythomax is amazing. And then we've
How
got
do you spell
some
that? My Filmax.
Mytho, Mytho, and then Max.
Right. Okay. Got it. Mythomax. Cool.
Yeah.
I've never
Um,
heard of that one.
and then we've got users who love like a older version of Llama, or a specific, like the Claude Opus. So depending on your prompting style and depending on your tone of voice with your brand, you're gonna want to test different types of models to see what is the match for you. To be, because some people love how ChatGPT sounds, and usually these are my developer, or like friends who kind of sound like ChatGPT. So they're gonna want to turn like content that sounds like ChatGPT. But then you've got thought leaders as well. Like you've got personality. Yeah, there's a lot of AI personalities out there who are advocating for Claude. That's including yourself, Ali K. Miller. Loves how it sounds. I use it for my blogs, my thought pieces. I use Claude, but I don't use it for my social media posts. So I expect I call it model routing. So I route different types of content to different models because they sound different, and I cater it based on my assumptions of how it's been trained, what data it's been trained on, for maximum results. So, for example, if I put together an ad, whether that's on Instagram or Facebook, so only been experimenting. I don't do a lot of these, but the recent one that I did had really good results. I wrote down my results actually for a Facebook ad that first time I've ever done it. The industry's average is 1.51% on, is it CTR or something? And mine was 2.1%. Click-through rate. Cost per click is usually 0.83 on average. Mine was 0.10. CPA, the engagement rate usually is around 0.15%. Mine was, it said 18.38%. So I had crazy results, and how I put it together was using a llama model. I just asked a llama model, say, I want to run an ad. This is an experiment. What should I do?
And is that just a text-based advert, or was there imagery or video with that too?
There was an image. So I fed it an image idea that I had. I described the image. It was actually a video. Yeah.
So it was all so the creative was AI as well.
Yes. Well, yeah. I created the images with Flux, and I animated it with Runway, and I put together. I also had a song that I generated using UDO. So I described it in my assistant, and it put together the ad for me. It suggested it suggested the interests, it suggested the age, demographics. And I was like, all right, I'm just gonna do it to see what the results are. And I'm quite impressed with the results. I'm not a Facebook ads expert, although that was my previous life, like as a marketeer when I was doing like marketeer earlier in my career. I had an idea of how it works. So I was quite, I was able to kind of confirm, okay, this makes sense. Let me try it out.
The other thing is, with AI in particular, you can generate 100 variations. So if you need text variations, if you need image variations, if you need video variations, you can generate them very quickly. And then when you upload them into a platform like Meta Ads, the advertising algorithm is just going to find which ones work best. And what's the feature in Meta Ads? I'm totally blanking on the name, but it will basically mix and match different parts of your creative in order to find the most optimum. It doesn't necessarily tell you, or it's not very good at telling you what the optimum is. But so the old way, because I also used to run Facebook ads, is we would just set up all these variations, and it was a huge amount of time and work because we were doing everything manually. We were writing each of the headlines, writing all of the descriptions, creating the images, creating the videos. But that was what was required in order to have enough variation to be able to test what was working. With AI, if I need 100 headlines, I ask for 100 headlines and then get them into the ad interface and let it work out which one's going to work best for me. So it's an incredibly powerful way to run advertising that I'm sure a lot of agencies are now doing. I'm out of the agency world too, but you don't think they're doing it? Are they still doing it manually?
No, they are. Actually, in marketing and advertising are the top users of AI. They are. I was at the Web Summit last week, and they were saying these statistics, like the biggest. So 2 years ago, when I was talking to marketeers, because I really wanted to build something for them, they were like, "It's not good. It's not going to happen. AI is not, da da da." Turns out they have been the best. They are the best users now. Like they're pushing it. They're experimenting. So they are kind of like that space is, there's a lot of users of that space, including on Launch Lemonade. We have seen a lot of marketing agencies and advertising agencies, copy houses, build tools for their portfolio so that they can, they are expediting their processes, producing more. So yeah.
I mean, it kind of makes sense that 2 years ago, people were saying, it's not there yet, because arguably it wasn't. ChatGPT
Yeah.
wasn't good enough, and we didn't have this plethora of models, because now we have so much competition with everyone. Like Mistral just released yesterday, new version of Mistral, and apparently it's fantastic. I haven't had time to check it yet, but the fact that we have all of these models, all of these companies competing, is speeding up the progress. So I think 2 years ago, arguably, in a marketing position, if you were running Facebook ads or you're doing SEO blogs or whatever it is, you could have said, yeah, it's not there yet. I think it would have been a mistake to continue to believe that it was not going to be there. I think that's a mistake.
Yeah, for sure. If you didn't try it out, or if you're not especially if you're an agency, and you want to churn more content, then yeah.
Yeah. Cool. We are at our half an hour. Thank you, everybody. Did you have any last words? Do you want to plug anything? Last words? That's very
Last
sorry, that's very
words.
roast.
I'll be
That's
tomorrow.
Final
Yeah,
remarks.
please follow me on TikTok. I share a lot of AI related information and news on my platform as well. That's Shen and AI. I do weekly free masterclasses on how to build your own custom AI tools, apps, GPTs. That's every Wednesdays, and I'm releasing one every Fridays as well. Today, it'll be about how to build your own Facebook ad copilot. So I'm going to be sharing my experience on how I built mine. And then on Friday, it's going to be how to build a custom voice AI tool. So, for example, you want to be a agency that builds customer service AI tools for restaurants or for companies. And I'm going to show how to do that on Friday. And there's more coming for the rest of the year. My free events as well are on my personal website. That's shensalon.com /speaking. That's it.
I mean, that's a lot of stuff. Are you doing different workshops every single week?
Yes, twice for the last 3 months. Once for the last 3 months, but now.
Man, that's a mad amount of work. I applaud you for that. Cool. So yeah, I'll do my quick plugs as well. I'm doing a webinar on Thursday. I'm not doing a different webinar every single Thursday. I'm doing the same one for the next few weeks, but I think it's going to be a very valuable one. Basically talking about how you can go and deliver AI workshops to businesses. Right now, there's a massive demand from pretty much every business on the planet is working out what it is they need to do with artificial intelligence, whether they're going to embrace it, whether they're going to push it away, which is a bad idea. And they are hiring in people to come and talk to them about the basics of AI, get them started, and give them a framework. So basically, there's a lot of demand right now for this. So I did give my own workshops. I'm off to Vegas in a month or so to go and give one. Yeah, it should be fun. But I'm also teaching people how to go and give these workshops. So it's a free webinar on Thursday. It's going to be 6 p.m. London time. There are recordings available if you can't make it at that time. But hopefully I will see you there because it's been good fun doing these webinars. And that's me. We will be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. talking again about the latest AI news. Again, it's a casual setting. We don't stick firmly to a particular format, but instead we will, well, as you saw today, we'll just kind of talk around a subject. So the idea is that it's like a casual coffee chat with two friends who are into AI and the uses of AI in business. So we'll be here every single weekday at 9 a.m. And you can also find recordings on YouTube. Is probably going to be the best place. So it's going to be my YouTube, which is I am Kyle Barmer. If you just put in my name, you'll be able to find it. Cool. Thank you so much again, Shen. And I will see you tomorrow morning.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.